Hello, and welcome to coverage of custom standard league matches for the Secrets of the River City season. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching a league match between Zarepath, who is continuing to play MonoBlack Rack, and Phoenix Star, otherwise known as AllWhoWander, who appears to be playing some sort of Sultai control deck. So far, Zarepath has curved out with a turn 1 Hound of Rounded Corners into a turn 2 Corporate Confidant, which will basically allow him to keep drawing cards while whittling down Wander's hand. Right now, Wander's interaction is basically non-existent, only really has the ability to cast Opt on end of turn, so Zarepath is going to be able to resolve this Eli. Wander saying, thinking in the chat, trying to pretend to have some sort of interaction, but I don't think there's any interaction Wander could have here that would feasibly counter Eli without 2 blue up. So on end, Wander's going to cast the Opt, okay, and he's going to crack their Fetch to get a Mushroom Bog. So another Make Prey. Make Prey is a good versatile answer, but it is a little bit slow. Decks like Zarepath's, which have that aggressive start, could just run over Wander right here. He's going to play a Writing. Next turn, though, does have access to Vibrant Rapture, and then with Vibrant Rapture can just wipe Zarepath's board. And then Eli, while dangerous for Wander's deck, and while Wander doesn't have an answer to it right now, it's likely that Wander does have Banishes in their deck, because that's one of the good cards for tap-out control. And it takes Eli a while to be a relevant threat. Speaking of relevant threats, though, that Fangmarked Cave is going to prove very problematic for Wander, because it is essentially a hasty threat on a land, so Wander can't counter it, and these Make Preys won't do anything to it. So Wander is kind of just looking at being dead. Okay, and apparently has Foiled Plans as the 3-drop counterspell of choice, I guess because of the hand information. I would think that in a tap-out deck like this, though, you would play Consult the Scriptures, just because the petal tokens from Vibrant Rapture plus enchantments like Writing make it so that you can turn on the Civilized fairly often. Or like Coordinated Commotion, which allows you to bounce these Writings for extra value. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. Wander played another Opt, which I feel like at this point probably should have just Vibrant Raptured, because if Wander had just played Vibrant Rapture there, would have killed all 3 of Zarepath's creatures, and because Vibrant Rapture makes petal tokens, would also have been able to hold up this Foiled Plans. So I do think that was a mistake by Wander right there. Fortunately for Wander, for now, Zarepath does not have the mana to be able to flip this Fangmarked Cave. It doesn't have the 4th land, it does have it, but Fangmarked Cave enters tapped, so we'll only be able to do it next turn. For now, though, it's just going to swing for 2 with the Hounds, and then main 2, yeah, just tick up Eli, and then probably play the Fangmarked Cave, and is also running out the Lazer's Altar. Lazer's Altar is really good if you have, like I've mentioned this before, it's a great card advantage engine as long as you have controlling cards that can essentially make up for giving your opponent an increase in their tempo. So now Wander's Writing is online, is going to cheapen up his cards. But yeah, notably, like, the problem here is Altar and Eli both present a clock, because now Zarepath can just give Wander cards with the Lazer's Altar and just keep doing damage. And it looks like that's what Zarepath is going to do, going to give himself the petal, let Wander draw the card and ping him anyways. Because now can Epic of Initiative X equals 3. So first it's going to attack with the Hound of Rounded Corners. But I can now Epic of Initiative X equals 3. And if Wander doesn't counter it, Epic of Initiative X equals 3 plus the 3 bullets just kills Wander. It's also instant speed. Oh no, it is sorcery. Never mind. Some of the other epics are. So I'm not sure why Zarepath didn't just cast it there. Yeah, that feels like a bad move. I feel like you just run it into, or I guess wait for Wander to be tapped out and then you kill Wander anyways is the thought. Because now Zarepath has 4 bullets plus Lazer's Altar. So in 2 turns, Wander is dead. So Wander's going to Vibrant Rapture X equals 2, killing both of Zarepath's Hound of Rounded Corners, and gets 2 petals out of the bargain. So basically only costs 1 mana. Then he's going to tap 3 for writing. Actually only needs to pay 2 for this because of the other writing, but I think Wander forgot that. And now with the Luxury District, actually doesn't even need the Luxury District because of the writing. But yeah, it can now have the foiled plans up. Once again, Zarepath is going to point the altar at Phoenix. And now Zarepath just needs to deal 1 damage to Wander. And Wander actually does not have a way to stop this Fangmart Cave. So Zarepath can confidently flip it and then just kill Wander right here. So yep, is going to do that. Hakbora coming out and is going to be swinging for a hasty 6. Or I guess can oppress the Weaket so that it only deals 3 damage, but then Zarepath still kills with bullets. So yeah, is going to oppress the weak to Hakbora. Unfortunately, because Wander had to spend the petal, doesn't get to draw a card off the oppress the weak, but it doesn't really matter, yeah, because Zarepath just bullets Wander's face. An interesting card that we saw right before that game ended is Calling Card from Wander. Let me scroll back up. So, it wasn't in the chat, so we can't see it. But it's a 2 black enchantment with pay X, discard a card with converted mana cost X, exile target creature with converted mana cost X, I believe. I think there's an alternate you win the game condition if you have a certain number of cards exiled with it. It's a powerful repeated removal engine, but that might also be a reason to have like so many different CMCs in Wander's cards, and also to play a more tap-out control style of deck. Okay, going into game 2, unlike last time, Zarepath does not have the turn 1 Hound of Rounded Corners. We'll be able to curve into, turn 2 Liturgy of Liliana, and then next turn can play yet another Liturgy of Liliana and a Duress. So basically double shock Wander while taking one of his most powerful cards. Wander is going to run out the Tempered Oncolim here, gaining back 3 life. I guess that's a pretty good thing. Put yourself on the board, give yourself a bit of a buffer against this Liturgy. But Zarepath just does not care, is just going to run out Liturgy number 2 and then a Duress. Wander does have a pretty stacked hand here. I feel like you just take the Epic. And yeah, unfortunately, the Calling card does have anti-synergy with these Liturgies, because now every time Wander wants to use it, he has to essentially double shock himself. So it's a cute tech, but one that's proving to be very bad in this particular matchup. And yeah, Zarepath is gonna end up taking Epic of Ekbrom, just because that card is so good. It's the only piece of counter magic in Wander's hand, and it can also refill you. So even if Wander still has another, it's better to just take one. And Wander with the Endless Paper Trail. Looks like this tap-out nature also involves playing to the board a little bit more. So yeah, he's just going to run out the Calling card, because no other instant speed cards are possible to play there. In fact, unfortunately, Wander can't even play these Epics or Endless Paper Trail because he doesn't have any blue mana. But I don't know if it'll matter, just because this one Tempered Oncolim might be enough to put Wander on the board and take him to victory. Zarepath is going to Duress number 2, double shock Wander again, probably take Epic number 2. Yeah, it's going to take the Epic number 2. Even if it's unplayable, it's basically the only relevant card in Wander's hand, and if this game goes long, it can definitely be a beating. And then gets to Lore Blackmailer, double shocks Wander again, and this time puts a body on the board. And Wander's going to discard that Endless Paper Trail, which I think Zarepath is very happy to see, given that he wants to probably play this Lazer's Altar, and doesn't want to have to be worrying about what Wander has in hand that could be fixed off of the altar. Because I think at this point, if you're playing versus a control deck, you probably just want to point it at yourself. Also, Wander not attacking with a Tempered Oncolim surprises me. I feel like you'd try to attack over the Lore Blackmailer. Or I guess the thought is that Zarepath does have the clock, so you need it as a blocker. And Zarepath is attacking in with the Lore Blackmailer. Surprising. Wander is going to snap block that, But I guess the reason for doing that is this tradition. Without an Epic of Ekbrom, Wander doesn't have a way to actually deal with this because it can't be bounced. So just going to swing in with a Tempered Oncolum again. Vibrant Raptor and Banish are both basically dead at this point. Okay, mills another Lorei Blackmailer and an Epic of Initiative off the second tradition hit. And yeah, the life gain off of the tradition is really offsetting the damage from the Tempered Oncolum. And now Zarepath can play Lorei Blackmailer once again. Oh no, he's going to run out the Lazer's Altar first. Okay, that makes sense. Has mana for both. And isn't running out the Lorei Blackmailer? I'm surprised by that. Oh no, actually, that's a smart play from Zarepath not running out the Lorei Blackmailer because he's worried about Banish. Duh. Which he saw before, because if Zarepath plays a Lorei Blackmailer there, it'll just get banished before he can recur the other Lorei Blackmailer with Tradition. Oof. And double Foog for Zarepath here. But I think, yeah, he's going to just bring back Lorei Blackmailer 1, and then play the second Lorei Blackmailer from hand. Eat Wander's life total for 8. So Wander's down to 3 now. So next turn, Zarepath just points Altar at a Wander, and then plays Foog. Foog's +1 will, Foog's +1 will kill Wander. Oh wait, no, it doesn't even need that, because, Liturgy of Liliana on... I forgot that Liturgy of Liliana has 2 abilities, so Wander just dies on his upkeep anyways. So damn, good games to both players, but Zarepath on MonoBlack rack takes a 2-0 over Wander on Sultai tap out control. Until next time, this is Caillou signing out.